Okay. Woo.
And here we
There are
are.
new lower sub prices in the United Kingdom, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess they must have switched it to a local payment method. But then, like, it's Amazon. Surely it should all be local
Oh, how
payment methods.
strange.
Big enough. Yeah. Who is affected by local subscription pricing?
Wait,
Oh,
what?
God, this. I don't know. There's a lot of text here.
I
Right,
have to
okay.
change my audio properties.
Oh, no, I am sorry. It doesn't affect what people pay, but it affects what creators can get out of it.
Oh, that's weird.
That is weird. So I could get even more money for my hot tub streams.
Oh boy. Is that what we want?
No, no one wants that.
Oh my
No
god.
one wants that.
So hello everybody. I'm gonna finish. I have two challenges ahead of me right now. Is that like I need to figure out what.
I've got like a bunch of fucking laundry behind me. Like, I'm a scabber.
Are you,
I am.
what's a scabber?
Someone who can't look after themselves.
Oh my god.
It
My
could also
audio
be
is so
someone who like
crap.
doesn't pay for things and always like scrounges them off people. That could be a scabber as well. Someone who crosses the picket line. That's a scab.
Okay. Yeah, across the picket line is definitely a scab.
Yeah, right. So, but then, yeah, I don't know. A scab is just gross, right? No one likes a scab.
No, no one does like a scab. I'm so.
So no one likes. I've got my laundry draped across my couch.
I can't get it to properly monitor your audio because it's the worst, and all this audio stuff never quite works right in OBS, which drives me nuts, but it's fine. So we might be slightly out of sync, but that's okay. I'm gonna poke at it slowly but surely, but I'm gonna also be posting our stream to everywhere. So hello everybody. It is August now.
What's by now the most unexpected outcome of Brexit? But yes, it's the only thing that happened is content creators on Twitch will get a little bit more money. I don't know, maybe they're competing with OnlyFans now. Like that's got to have hit into Twitch's revenue streams, right?
I don't know. I feel like fundamentally OnlyFans does not do what's it called? Does not do
See you later,
live
Becky.
streaming, right?
I think you can. You can do live video chats and stuff, right?
But,
I honestly, I'm not going to make myself an OnlyFans account to find out.
you shouldn't. It would be no bueno.
My OnlyFans account would just
It
be
would
like
be really bad.
me mixing mahjong tiles. It'd be my mahjong tile OnlyFans.
Oh, I need you
Someone will
buying
pay
some
for it.
snacks for being yakitori. Oh no.
Yeah, I want snacks.
I want snacks. Hold on.
I think I'm streaming, Dave. I think so.
Okay, hold on. Maybe this will help. I don't know. I don't know how any of this is gonna end up working. It's crazy. Um, let's see if we can't get you up and running. There we go. Now we're gonna be in sync. You should talk though.
Yeah.
Say something.
Okay, I'm talking about me and how wonderful I am and how everyone should
Oh my
subscribe
god,
to
you
my
are.
own.
It's all true. It's all true. Tile shuffling ASMR probably exists. You know, honestly, like of all the ASMRs, tile shuffling ASMR, I would almost be okay with. Like, I would feel like that was
Yeah.
legitimately just a pleasant sound that no one is
That is
having
like
weird
there are
sexual
pleasant
feelings
sounds,
about.
like like lightning and
Yeah, yeah, like rainymood.com. I don't know if anyone remembers
waves. Yeah,
rainymood.com.
yeah.
That it
I'm
was.
not sure that's AMSR though. ASMR,
No, I mean
AMSR.
it's a nice thing to listen to though. Like the sound of the storm is pleasant.
Yeah.
And like I can see how listening to it would be soothing to you. Don't queue for a dungeon. We don't want to see you do a dungeon. We only want to see you play mahjong.
No, we do. Man, I haven't played for a while, and I agreed to be healer for someone who was doing.
Oh no.
Oh, and my friend who's also was like, "Oh, I'm going to be healer too," and I'm like, "Oh no, this is bad." So we did a trial, and oh my god, we wiped so many times, and no one
Oh
gave us
no.
commendations. And I was like, "We don't deserve commendations because we're literally the worst healers this entire
Oh
game has seen
no.
for a long time."
Oh
So
no.
I
I'm sorry.
agreed to be a healer, assuming that we get another healer in. I was like, "Oh, I can be not an off
Right, I'll be
healer,
one of
but,
the healers, and then there'll be another
yeah,
healer, and in case I make a
who's
small mistake,
capable,
that
yeah,
healer can carry. Yeah,
yeah."
yeah, yeah.
And it was what trial was it? Is it Suyu? Whatever that trial is, the lady with the moon and the sun.
Oh,
What's the trial
Tsukihime?
called? Yes, Castrum, blah blah blah. What was it
Yeah,
called?
that's a cool trial, though.
It's a cool. Yes, this one, Castrum Fluminous.
Yeah,
But it's a cool
custom
trial.
fluminous.
But I'd only done it as a summoner, and because I hadn't played it for maybe a
Yeah,
good month, I did not know the mechanics well enough, so I didn't know when I should be healing. And then
yeah.
yeah.
A lot
And
of those trials are
despite
really
telling
cool.
people at the beginning, I was like, I haven't done this for many, many months. Then no one reminded me or jogged me of my memory. So the first wipe was on them.
Yep. Oh no, all the wipes are on them. You got it. What is the
No,
first? What are you up to anyway in the story now? Where are you? Are you yet doing?
I'm not in Shadowbringers yet, if
Oh
that's the
my
question.
God,
I keep getting distracted, man. I'm almost there.
you're so far behind.
I don't care. I don't care.
Oh, it's Mahjong time. Are you? What are you? Are you post? Are you post Stormblood now?
I'm post Stormblood.
Okay.
It's really like that part is just so crap.
Post Stormblood, I remember being kind of boring. Just being kind of
Yeah.
like, like I don't know. They did a decent job of setting up the idea of Shadowbringers. So I was like, okay, here's a mysterious thing going on, which obviously portends that there's going to be an adventure. But like overall, okay.
Yeah,
So
it's
our
been
Dora type is traditional, which means the
yes.
seven mon is Dora,
Whee!
and we got a red and a Dora. So we got two Dora. We got two 1, 2, 3 shapes complete. That's actually a pretty. It's two Shantan hand.
Yeah, I
Just
would
Shantan
say
hand.
5, 6, 7, but I'm gonna need a pair, which is gonna block
Let's see
me
if you
from
can
my
get
one.
one.
Oh, God. It's all coming to the end.
Oh my
So
God,
stormy.
this is beautiful.
Yeah,
What you
this is
want is
coming, and I'm East as well.
yeah, this is a great hand if it all comes together. We need that pair though. That's the
Yeah, the
problem.
pair is a problem. Look,
Five
I
six
threw a
seven is
pair
going to be
away.
tricky too. Ugh,
Mm.
ugh. But the nine was the right throw. I think the nine was the most isolated tile. It always sucks when the exact next tile and you're just like, ugh.
Here we go. Here we go. So if I get a 4 man or a 1 man, this can be my pair now.
Okay. You could even
Or
throw away the 2 3 if you really want to go hard into 5 6
I know,
7. Like
right?
if you really
That's
want
what
to
I
play
was.
it, you could.
I'd
I
be
feel like if you
tempted.
get
I'm
like
not
a
gonna
red
lie.
5 man, it might be time to be like, now it's going on.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
let's see what
yeah.
happens.
Or I could get another 7 man. That'd be tasty as well.
True, because then yeah, then it becomes your Dora pair. You drop Sanchoku's
Mm.
fine. You got two Dora. This Chun is just in your way. It doesn't care. Oh no. Oh
Hey
no.
Tiral, how was my week? You know what? I've been doing like that's partly why I've got laundry packed up here. I've got like a.
I don't like this
I've
reach.
been doing a lot of not spring cleaning, late spring cleaning. I don't even know the season anymore. Who knows what season it is? It's COVID season.
It's COVID season.
It's been COVID season for 18 months. I'm
God.
pretty sure. I don't even
Yeah,
know.
it's just the time. It's the time day COVID. Oh, this is not fun. At least you're getting like draws that you don't have to worry about too much, but still like
Yeah, I mean, I kept well, the 2 man is safe, so I'm definitely more tempted to push towards that 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku.
yeah, especially if you get a draw into it, that'd be the right answer. I think is throw the two and be Ishan 10 on it. Even
Yeah,
if you don't, frankly, even if you get anything that completes any of those three things, the 2 men, like throw the 2 men, is probably your best way to play safe, yet, kind of crab walk your way towards.
yeah. I hear Americans say this crab walking, and I really still
Oh, here we
don't
go.
quite know what it means.
We got that
Uh,
6, 7, 8. We threw the two.
I
Oh,
can't throw the 3 or the 6. I'm gonna have to.
you could throw the one, I guess.
Yeah,
That still doesn't kill you because you have 6, 6, 7, 8. So you get the 9. You could like, oh my god. All right,
yeah.
you're still back to Ishan 10. Like you're still snaking around this. Oh,
I know, but I mean, if I'm gonna throw it, I'm gonna throw it to get into Tempai. I'm not gonna risk it.
yeah, no, I agree. But what I want to highlight is that you're keeping this alive. That you're like playing safe, but managing to keep your hand from being totally out of it.
Here we
Um.
go.
Oh wow. All right. Do it. And it
I mean,
passes.
it's yeah, it's Riichi Pim through 2 Dora, so it's 8,000 as East, which is good.
No, it's Mongon disease.
Uh,
That's 12,000, right?
yeah, yeah, sorry, yeah, 12,000. So
But
it's
unfortunately,
yeah, it didn't come through, but I think I
oof.
made all the right calls there.
That's Tanya Dora 3. That's a pretty strong hand from
Yeah, they're doing well over there. Apple stock.
Applestock.
There's
No,
lots of new players as well at the moment.
Zyger on
Hi,
Applestock.
Garlic.
Interesting. Oh, hi, Garlic. Yeah, no, I think that definitely was the right play, and I think it was an excellent example of oh my god, we got Junchan potential, we got a Dora Haku, which actually kind of gets rid of the Junchan potential. We got 7, 8, 9 Sanshoku potential. We got so much going on
Yeah.
here. I love it. I love it.
I'm now. I mean, maybe I could have called that 9 bamboo, but
As much as I thought about it, honestly, as much as I was like, oh, do we push for it? I feel like that would have been a step too aggressive for a situation where the hand is so well formed.
mm,
Like here, you got a 6, 7, 8. Like this hand is making itself happen, and it's like pushing that hard maybe isn't worth it for what
So
would
if
end
I
up being
get
like Sanchoku nothing.
yeah, if I get the 3-man, I think I'm not going to call Riichi either because
Because
there
you
is
have the
a
chance to
high
upgrade to the
potential.
Sanchoku.
Yeah, yeah.
Although throwing the Dora is almost as good as calling Reach. But
I mean, Sai through the door on his first discard. So.
someone cut the Haku already, just make the Gemma David. That's true, the Haku has been cut, so throwing the Dora now isn't so crazy. It has come out, but still I feel like would be like...
Yeah, do you know what? But if I get another Haku, then, you know.
Then you're in a good way.
Then I'm throwing the 1-man.
Yeah, then you're going to break down that edge. And,
Yeah.
oh yeah, because you can get the 3 to make the 2, 3, 4, so then you're Tempai on the 4, or the Haku, or the 3, or the 6, or the 9. Yeah, you got it all. You got it all. You just got to draw it.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to throw the Haku, I had to throw it directly after Sai throw it. Once you've left it, once you've left it a few discards, it's less obvious that you're reacting to something.
Yeah, this is mostly about appearances, right? So if South had the guts to throw it as first discard, which also says South, might be ready right now. Although they haven't been discarding only as thrown for a while. There's 2 Haku out now, so now throwing the Haku is much more sane to do. But yeah, if you do it right after them, it's like, okay, well, I'm doing it because they did it, not because I'm ready, not because but because. And I guess the thing you are saying is you're giving up on it.
Yeah, it's not a reaction to my hand; it's a reaction to their behaviors.
Their bad behaviors. No, they're great. Who knows? Who knows what's in their hand?
I don't know what's in their hand. So,
I do.
4. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
They've thrown out 3 Dora so far. So.
Well, they obviously already have.
But they did just reach.
Yeah, there we go. They have a Kokushi sitting there. They're reaching on their Kokushi. They just got to the 13-sided weight. It's a deliberate 30-10 Kokushi weight on the Kokushi reach on the 13-sided weight, so they can sumo it to get literally every point. That 4-man is an interesting draw.
It's well, I mean, I've got the East, right? I stacked that East as a safe tile.
Yeah.
So that's an easy discard for me. And actually, the 4-man opens up my hand quite wide, like it's wide. I'm going to reach on this. Yeah, because it's East only, I have to. It's not pretty, but.
It is not pretty, but it is a safe discard, but it's ugly. Although, because you have all those 4s, it makes that 3 more isolated than it might otherwise be. A little.
No one can see that, though, right? So they could happily be thinking they can...
I guess what I'm thinking is more like what tiles can end up in the long run staying in people's hands. That 3 has a less ability to live somewhere permanently, unless they're just trying to hold tiles that are dangerous.
Well, I mean, if they're playing well, they'll probably break down their hand to not throw the 3-man.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and this is nice for me if it passes. Because people seem to think
people
safe.
Do Suji. It does pass. But I mean, the thing that I'm thinking is if someone's breaking down their hand to hold the 3, that's a little bit of a win for you because now they're not going to be contesting you for a victory. So it's not as good as Roan, but forcing a player to fold is kind of a small victory if you're already in reach, and especially if they're not going to be.
And we're quite close. Now there's 3 Riichi sticks on the table as well. This hand becomes a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, anyone who wins this is going to get some amount of points out of it.
West is not folding. That's a nasty discard.
They are not.
Oh, look, they're my freeze.
Oh, God.
I didn't want to do that.
Oh, for Toy, Dora 1 into West.
Wow, they're happily in lead now. I assume that everyone is pushing everything all the time. I mean, we are on an East-only table, so... it's
going to be a lot of push.
Exactly. Even the players that may be a little bit more on the defensive, they're going to be a bit more pushy, right?
Yeah. And that's one of the things I've in my many years, like talking to people, when you get into playing East-only games, and people who play East-only games, when they sit down to play East-South games, you really have to recalibrate, like the value of pushing aggressively every single hand. Because in a short game, you need to, like, you really can't not push. You don't have the time to say, well, I'll chill out for this hand. I get 8 more, I get 7 more opportunities. I lost my dealership, but I get another one. Like, there's no time.
That's why I hate being the first East on an East-only game, because you don't get to see the conditions.
Yeah, you're just walking blindly into the table, and you're like, I wonder how everyone's going to behave, and then something happens, and like maybe you get lucky, and maybe you don't, and it can be rough.
Yeah. There's definitely a higher variance, I think, on East-only games.
Look at this. I'm frustrated with this game because I feel like each hand something like this has happened. Like you've had it kind of come together pretty nicely, and someone else has ended up just like outspeeding you or pushing you out of the way somehow, and it kind of sucks.
Now, though,
'Cause-
I mean, to get into Tempai, if I get a 1 or 4 or 5 or 8, I've got to throw the Dora, which I'm not going to do.
yeah, which kind of sucks.
So I'm going to have to find myself another pair, and I'm going to do it. This is ballsy, I think.
I don't think it's slowing your hand down, but it's doing two things which I think are good. It's giving you a better chance at Tanya, which
Mm.
can let you speed your hand up later on if you want to accelerate, so that can be good. And it is allowing you to work that door in so you get the value you need in
Yeah.
order to get going anywhere. So I think overall it's a winning strategy, even if it's technically a step back.
Yeah, and it's not. There's not a wall. There's not a cabe on the 6 pin, but I can see 3 of them.
Mm.
And now I can see 3 8s, so it means I can keep this 9 here, happily as a safe tile as well.
Yeah, yeah, because we can see so many tiles around that 9. The 6-9 weight is highly unlikely that anyone's going to be doing that.
So if the 4-man comes out, I'm probably going to call it now.
Because then you can get straight to... That doesn't get you to Tenpai, but it gets you close enough, and then you can get Tanya Dora 1, which is still something, which gets you closer to second, further from fourth. Ooh.
I'm going to throw this 9 pin because I'm worried that our friend here on the left is making a flush. Games on 14. He's playing a team event today. Oh, are you playing the Mahjong Soul team event? Was that what was going on today? I did hear something of it.
I got a message.
But the Mahjong Soul one, though, they only give you 1 trophy for the 4 players, which I thought was a bit risky considering, people are going to be likely hunting down players, right, to their team, just randomly from the Discord, the internet, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I feel like that's the way to end new friendships pretty quickly.
Just having 1 trophy, you gotta
who
fight
gets
over
to
it?
keep the trophy, yeah. Maybe I'm
God.
not accepting. That's a pretty dangerous tile. Yeah.
It's Suji on the Reach discard, which isn't the worst thing in the universe. Whoa. So they just went for Tanya and Red.
Yeah.
Well, they were in first place, so they're just going to push it.
The team event starts at 4 a.m. GMT. Bloody hell! Well,
Still in third, though, by a whisker.
it's American catered company. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, is
So-
it? Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Interestingly, so if you win anything, you lock in third. If you get a manga on here, you can actually get the second.
Not even a direct hit won't take him out, though, will it?
No, first I don't think you, unless it's like a Yakuman, I don't think you're going to get the
Yeah.
first. And you have Chun, and
I do
Chun's
have
the
Chun.
Dora. So
Yeah.
you got your manga. You got second place if you can
I
land
do.
the hand.
Yeah. Oh, that's in a month. Okay, I don't know what team. Sorry, I don't know what team event. But to accidentally advertise Mahjong Soul's team event, Mahjong Soul are having a team event soon. The trophy looked quite nice, but I was like, oh, you only get 1 trophy? That kind of sucks.
It seems a little weird
Usually
with
not.
multiple participants to only give 1 trophy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's going to be people
They've
from all
got
over the
enough
place.
money.
Like,
They've got enough money to buy 4 different
they're
trophies.
very poor. It's very difficult for them.
I know. It must just be so hard taking all that gacha money.
It's difficult. It hurts. You know, it hurts inside.
Yeah, I suspect it's all the therapy they have to pay for to, come to work every day knowing that they're just ringing poor people for the gacha. Sorry if you like playing gacha, guys. Sorry. There's other ways you can spend your money, like anywhere else.
4 a.m. European time or 4 a.m. American time?
4 a.m. UK time. It's. I think the event's catering to the Americans. I mean, I don't have stats, but just I think there's probably more people in America who like that kind of aesthetic. Dave can correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't have any statistics at all. I don't have any factual basis.
I mean, so when I did like anime, which is a long time ago, it was always the Americans were always far ahead of any of the Europeans with like conventions and getting products into yeah. I mean, but getting products into the country even they were much quicker. And I presume that's because there was a bigger market for it, because we were buying I think what was ours? Ours was PAL and yours was NTSC, right? Yeah, because we were always trying to secure NTSC DVD players and stuff so that we could watch.
Oh yeah, because the video format was just different.
Yeah.
I think that actually maybe made the biggest difference is that the video format was just
Maybe,
different.
yeah, because Japan's NTSC as well, right? So they would have had to do technical wizardry too. Although, yeah, I don't. To be honest, though, when you got past us, it's kind of weird. If you ever watch like an old Friends video from the UK, I forget what it is, whether it's slowed down or speeded up. I think it's slowed down. So there's just a slight, really like a millisecond or so speed adjustment
Oh,
because
that's
they never
strange.
changed it. It's really weird. Like, yeah, I because for things like Friends, I watched them so much when I was a kid. I know like the rhythm of it. And then I
Mm.
watched it in America and I was like, there's something wrong with it, and I'm not sure. But yeah, it's because the speed was slightly different.
Oh my god, this is so infuriating. I don't know if I would have thrown that 3-man. I might have thrown the 3-so instead. Although I think you've passed on 2-3. Yeah, you can't pong the 3-man anymore, so actually, yeah, 3-man's the right
Yeah.
answer. This is rough effing times.
I don't know
All
how
right,
far behind me you are, but there we go.
it's got to happen.
Because that three bamboo is super dangerous.
It
Like
is, but it's got to
on
happen.
east and north. Yeah.
There's no other option.
There's how many?
But it
There's two
passes.
5s left and 3s 2s left, so it's not a bad weight here.
5 is safe on the reach.
Yeah,
Jeez.
but you'd hope that people would be fearful of me now that I've got a manga and sat there, right?
East pong. Yeah, but the reach fair will have to deal it. East might just deal it because they might just be like, I don't necessarily care what happens at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your shot at second. You got to take it. It's just got to happen.
Thanks,
West
Trial.
seems to be
Thanks.
going, so if West is going, they might play safe on the reach and throw a 5. So like, there's a decent shot of you getting this tile, and really all we can do is pray.
Yeah, I think I played good this game. It's just not come through.
Yeah, every hand you've like put it together really nicely, and then just never quite gotten the basketball through the hoop, which I'm going to use a basketball
Yeah.
metaphor for no good reason.
Yeah, I feel excluded with your weird ass American references.
Sorry, you didn't quite properly feign
It's a
injury on
netball.
the
It's
pitch
netball.
and fall to the
Yeah.
ground. Use a
To use football,
yeah. I'll use football term. Oh, there you go. There you
Nice,
go.
nice. Second place, I'll take that.
That punts you out to second. That's beautiful.
I mean, maybe that cheap reach I did quite early on was too much of a push, considering. You remember I did that 3-man when I was just waiting on the
Yeah,
3-man
but I
and I
felt like
reached
that
it.
was
Maybe that was
reasonable.
it was reasonable, but maybe I shouldn't have done that one. I think that might be
The
the
basketball.
questionable play of thing.
I don't know.
Get
I don't know. I
basketball.
don't know nothing about basketball.
Dave doesn't watch basketball, so I don't know why he's talking to me about
Okay,
basketball.
I went to a basketball game once.
Once I went to a baseball game once, and I
It's
really
great.
liked it because I thought that baseball was about sports.
No,
And then I learned
yeah,
it was
that's
just
what you
about
didn't
getting people
understand,
to
like-
bring beer to my seat.
Yeah,
And I was like,
baseball
this
is
the best.
about drinking beer, and also it's a little bit. I've said this before. I'll say it again. It's a little bit like going down to the track for horse racing.
Right.
You're there to
Yeah.
hang out, and also there's a thing going on regularly that you can cheer for or like get a little hype about.
Yeah, so I didn't go to one in America, so I don't know what it's quite like in America. But I went to see it was the Hiroshima Carps and Yokohama, whatever they are. Anyway,
Not
so
carps.
I went, not carps,
All
not
animals
the
in
carps.
Japan are divided into carps and not
I,
carps.
was it Hiroshima Carps? It must have been the Carps, and then it was whatever the Yokohama ones are. Anyway, so like, first of all, those Japanese ladies, they are devoted to bringing you beer at any point you might be a little
Oh my
bit
God.
thirsty.
What is this? What is this Cheetoy business going on?
And I don't know, in America, do they do the same? Like where they have like the big like vat of beer on their backs, and then they have like a little tube, and they
I don't
they
know.
squirt it out. Like
don't
that's what
know
they were
well
doing,
enough.
and I loved it. Apart from the thing I didn't like was that they give you a plastic cup, right? And I was like, can you just refill this plastic cup? Like I don't need another plastic cup. And of course it's Japan, so they're not allowed to use their common sense. They're like, no, we must take this plastic cup from you. It's a health and safety issue. And I'm like, I'm the fucking customer.
No, in America, they give you things with no lids because you're not allowed to have lids. Because if you have a
Right.
lid or cover of any sort that would protect you from spilling your drink all over everywhere, all over another person, it's also an object you could throw onto the field in your drunken anger. So it must be taken from you. So any
Oh,
drink or
so
anything you
we were
buy,
allowed we were allowed to take any bottles and stuff in, and then like, they were selling like little bento boxes outside the stadium as well to take in. It was all very civilized.
oh, that's really nice. See, I like that because it
Yeah.
treats me. I mean, I can't be entirely angry because I can't say they're wrong. And like
have to
even if
protect the
I buy like a bottle of Diet Coke, they will open the bottle for me and take the cap.
Take the lid.
Yeah. So that I cannot throw the cap
God.
onto the field in my drunkenness.
You do
Um,
look like a hooligan, Dave. You do look like a hooligan.
What? Oh, I don't wanna be a
Oh.
hooligan. Wait, is chat calling me? Am I behind on chat? Did chat call me a hooligan, or did you just call me a hooligan?
I just called you a hooligan. Don't
Wow.
worry. Those people are nice. They're not going to
Wow.
call you a hooligan. Only your closest friends will call you a hooligan.
No one's calling me a hooligan. What is this Chanta stuff going on? Alexis Princeton is a player after my own heart with this Chanta business, and I, for one, want to see it succeed because I believe in them. I want to see you get like a 5-so.
Well, I can't get the 1 pin, right? So that's a bit of a bugger. So I'm not going Chantaland, obviously.
Well, you have 1-2-3 Sanchoku potential, although it's a little far away.
It's a little
not
bit
impossible,
exciting.
but it's a little far
It's
away.
not impossible, but it's exciting. Especially with North here going. I'm East again. I'm the first, but this is a full one, so I feel a little less pressured here.
Yeah, you have a little more time.
And maybe I should have kept that 7 bamboo because it was adjacent to the
No,
Dora.
hooliganish. Ready Millie calls you a
But
hooligan.
I will say I am a hooligan for sure.
Big old hooligan. Hooligan, what's this?
I'll take that bio now. I
Ugh.
totally like. If there's a hooligan on this stream, it's definitely me.
We need a new sport that everyone can get
Mahjong.
hype over. Mahjong. No, I want like a physical sport. Like a running around an arena sport that's not your football, which honestly is just a wreck. Everyone just falls over crying.
It is still.
I can play that alone in my room.
The world. It is the biggest sport in the world. Okay. So.
No, the biggest sport in the world remains war.
Apart from that, yes. Apart from the murder of our fellow humans.
How would we turn, Carol? Go. How would we turn Mahjong into a physical sport? Full spec. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I mean, you've got some exercise there. Maybe you have to like run around before you can call Ron or something.
Well, what
I
I'm
don't
thinking
know.
is you turn the tiles into those like, what's it called? Those Atlas stones, and so to discard one, you have to like whirl and cast it off into the field.
Hi, Rudolph. At the moment, we're talking about how we can make Mahjong into a physical sport.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
you have to do like a shot put, like you're spinning and spinning and spinning, and you're like, ugh, and you cast off your discard.
Oh, and if you want the discard, if you want to call it, you have to catch it somehow.
Oh God. Let's not make it an
possible?
Atlas stone then, because people are just gonna get killed. Do we do it?
I don't know, because there's only 1 bamboo left.
Wait, but you would be in the 1-4 man? Wait. There's
Well,
very
look,
little-
I'm just
there's
going to
nothing
throw into
left.
someone foolishly anyway, so.
Oh no. Well, it's Hot's Dora 1, so that's not so
I
bad.
feel like I should have discarded the 1 bamboo there, you know? But I was worried that this person was going for a chanter.
Yeah,
But
no,
I feel
I
the
think
bamboo would have been better, and then.
Dealing-
But as
dealing
you said,
to
it was so
tempo.
close to the end.
dealing to Tenpai is not that crazy. I don't know. I don't feel like that was a big crazy move. But now you got to win
Kira
something.
says, think American football, but where the ball is tiles and you have to score them into your goal to build a hand. Oh yeah, you could probably do that in American football, right? Because they stop every 10 seconds for like a chat or something, whatever.
Well,
they
so do your football, but they stop every 10 seconds because someone's faking that their leg got broken by being looked at wrong.
Or sometimes they just like they actually have someone who's actually injured, and we just then we ignore it. Then
But
we're
we
like,
have that a
just
lot,
wait
actually.
for it.
We get a lot of
Keep
American football
playing,
is basically
keep
like a concussion machine.
Right? Do you know what's funny? So football, they have a lot of problems now with people who've had low-level concussions constantly, right? Because they can head the ball.
Yeah.
And now, like, lots of these older football players have developed dementia and other brain injury-related problems. They don't let under 16s or under 18s head the ball anymore for these reasons.
Can you make that a rule? Is that a rule?
Yeah, well, if you're not allowed to head the ball, then why would you do it?
Because you think it's
Like,
cool.
no, but then it's an illegal move, and the ball is given to the other side.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a risk, then they shouldn't be allowed to take that risk until they're adults, right?
I guess it just seems like it's like, all right, you can't
It's
use your hands
football
on the
as well.
ball, and they're like, okay, like you can use the rest of your body on the ball, and they're like, okay, and then they hit the ball with their head, like, no, you can't do that either. Sorry.
Oh, you can't use the rest of your body with the ball. No, you're not.
You can bounce the
It's
ball
quite
off your chest.
complicated. Off your chest, yeah, but you can't use your arms. If it touches your arms, then you're in trouble. It's quite complicated. It's a little bit annoying.
To be fair, it's not called football because you have to use your foot. It's called football because it's played by people who are on foot as opposed to being on horseback. That's why it's called football. That I know.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because games like polo and stuff, like the games of the nobles, they'd all get on their horses and ride out on their horses and smack the ball around and have a great time. And peasants were like, we want to play a game, but they didn't have horses. At least not horses for riding around playing a game.
Yeah, I mean, they might change the rules and headers, because I know that like the people who were having problems, they were heading wet leather balls, right? Which
Ew.
is really like, let's just head. Well, I mean,
Sounds like a bad fetish.
In the olden days, right? So that's just like
Yeah.
concrete. That's just literally hitting your head on concrete. Whereas now they're using these spongy plastic ones. Maybe it's less of a problem. I don't know.
It might be less now. You could also make them wear helmets. No one's gonna like that. But you could make them wear helmets.
You couldn't play football with a helmet on.
Why not?
Why didn't we call that horseball? Because nobles are twats.
Yeah, but they're nobles. Their ball is the default ball. It's just ball. We play ball.
Yeah, it's just called ball. Yeah,
Yeah, like you peasants play some other weird ball, idiot ball for dummies. Why don't I
Yeah,
have a
like,
spare
if you
horse
were-
just for my
yeah,
hobby
like-
game ball?
If you were just smart, then you'd have loads of money.
Yeah,
All
if
your
you
fault.
peasants just friggin' worked harder, you'd have a horse for horse ball. But we're gonna call it ball. You could play ball. Now you have to play crap ball for idiots. That's what we call it. I would have been a good noble. I wish I was a noble.
Yeah, I'd say you'd have done really well, Dave. Like,
Yeah.
if there was a way to apply, I would definitely support your application.
I've
Like,
invented
if
a new
anyone-
food, and I'm gonna name it after me. So now you can all eat Dave's.
You'd have to be a British elite, though. I don't think
Oh,
the
yeah.
American elites really, they don't really have it. I've got to be honest with
Hold
you.
on. That theory sounds spurious. Hold on.
What is it?
Let's see if it is or not.
Serious. I wish I could apply to have too much money as well. Fortunately, we're all povos, apparently. That's fine, that one. I'm waiting now to hear
so
this. Sorry.
it is apparently minorly controversial.
Oh, dear.
It says, Wikipedia says, although the accepted etymology of the word football, or, quote, foot space ball, close quote, originated in reference to the action of a foot kicking a ball, this may be a false etymology. An alternative explanation has it that the word originally referred to a variety of games in medieval Europe which were played on foot. These sports were usually played by peasants as opposed to the horse riding sports more often enjoyed by aristocrats. In some cases, the word has been applied to games which involved carrying a ball and specifically banned kicking. For example, the English writer William Hone, writing in 1825 or 1826, quotes a social commentator, Sir Frederick Morton Eden, which is a very English name, regarding a game which Hone refers to as football, played in the parish of Scone, Perthshire. The parish is named Scone. What is wrong with you people?
Well,
And the quote
that's up
says-
in that's up in Scotland. That's not England, so that's not our fault. That one.
The quote says, the game was this. He who at any time got the ball into his hands, run with it, the run with it is 6, so it's like exactly, but run with it, till overtaken by one of the opposite part, and then, if he could shake himself loose from those on the opposite side who seized him, he run on. If not,
That's
he
just
threw the
rugby,
ball
no?
from him, unless it was wrested from him by the other party, but no person was allowed to kick it.
That's just rugby.
Yeah. Conversely, in 1363, King Edward III, which is like 500 years before this, King Edward III of England issued a proclamation banning, quote, handball, football, or hockey, semicolon, coursing and cockfighting, comma, or other such idle games, suggesting that football was in fact being differentiated from games that involved other parts of the body. Interestingly, the word soccer originated as an Oxford ER slang of
Yeah.
association.
Yes,
And it's credited
association. I
to
didn't
late
know
19th
that.
century English footballer Charles Rifford Brown.
Yeah,
But
because
it's
we
believed
play
to be most
association
likely
football. Yeah.
apocryphal. There is also the sometimes heard variation, soccer football, which I guess would be like association football.
Yeah, I knew that part. Yeah.
Interesting.
So you can kick a rugby. Yeah, you can, but it's mostly running and being huge and running and being really, really
Just be big,
like
just be-
built like a brick shit house. Yeah.
Sorry, this has distracted me from Mahjong, but it's interesting to see. Oh my god, what is Ishan 10 Madness?
And I don't approve of penis-shaped rockets. I think men who could make significant contributions to stopping world hunger should stop creating more world hunger and start fucking fixing it. I had to use Amazon this week though, so that's why I'm mad. I'm mad at myself
no.
as well.
That is, you've let everyone down. For
I feel
if
like
nobles
that.
showed up on a horse. Well, yeah, if a noble showed up on a horse, they could just do whatever they wanted and then be like, what? What? Do you have a problem with me doing literally anything?
That's all Dave wants to do. He just wants to rock up on a horse and be like, I do what I want, bitch.
Yeah. That's why I need to get the queen to give me one of her things so that I can have. I'll be the Earl of Dumbshire. It's fine.
I
Or
think that's
Dummerton.
in
I'm sorry, the Earl
Is
of
that? I
Dummerton.
think that's near. Yeah, I think that's in Perthshire. I
There we
think. It
go.
must be,
There we
right?
go. Look, I'll be Lord High Idiot if you want to call me that, as long as I can just be on a horse and be like, what about it? You don't look like you're of quality.
Oh, that's not good enough for our Meghan and Harry. It's not good enough.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't care, man. They're
Right,
in Canada. What do
exactly.
they know? Can we
They're not in
timeshare the Earl of
Canada.
Dummerton?
They're in California now. Can we timeshare?
I
They're in
wonder-
America. They're in your land now because they
Should
got
we just
kicked out
make
of
up some
Canada.
titles? Can we make up some titles?
They're made up all the time. Where do you think they come from?
Oh my god.
Not real. Real.
I wonder if we could. Oh my god. Is it time? It's
No.
Dama Pinfu time.
Yeah, because if I get the 4, then of course it's a straight, which is whole to hand,
Well,
but it was not to be.
Someone else wins time. But that's okay. Got the Dama Pinfu, hung out.
Mm.
First place goes down a little. Last place sneaks barely past you, but everyone's now pretty close. Like, a good Mangan Sumo will get you into first place. So, like, me.
It's a full game as well, so I've got a little time here. Like, what I don't want to be doing is bleeding points unnecessarily.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Borders aren't really the. Thank you, Biona. You can join my. I mean, maybe you're not agreeing with this, but yeah, I think that a lot of the way we operate borders is bullshit. Certainly from a European perspective, right? They're just arbitrary. And you can have some streets in Europe, like one side is France and one side is Germany, but it's the same street. It's the same street. Like, yeah. I guess it makes more sense if you're in the UK because, you know, we have water.
I just want to be a person of quality. That's really all I want.
Is that what it says in your passport?
No.
There's a personal quality.
That's the problem. It doesn't.
Give him let to move freely.
I should be a person of quality. That's what I should do. How do I convince your queen to dispense upon me some kind of title? Can you buy them still?
Probably. Well, if you buy the land, I think you'd get the title, yeah.
Okay. And then you own the land, which actually isn't necessarily a bad deal. Oh, wow.
Will you settle for the Nintendo Seal of Quality?
The Seal of Quality.
Are they still doing that? I remember the Nintendo
that's
Seal
perfect.
of
I mean,
Quality.
I'm a person of Nintendo quality. Nintendo's person of quality.
Oh man, like if you're a Nintendo's quality, you're much higher than most other humans because that was difficult to get the Seal of Quality. Developers had to really jump through some hoops.
Honestly, that makes a lot of sense. You really, I think Nintendo, maybe before other platforms, really appreciated that you want people to believe that if they buy the Nintendo thing, it will just work. Apple has made a ton of money off of this. You know, if you buy the Apple thing, it will just do what you want it to do. You're not going to get something crappy that like half works or is broken, and you're not going to have to stress out every day over like, this thing I bought, will it continue doing what I want it to do?
Yeah, exactly. I like Apple products for that reason. Like every product I've had from them has lasted a long time. It's good quality. Yeah. Even though it's overpriced, probably. I don't know. Is it overpriced? I mean, I've got one Apple laptop here that I've had for 10 years. It's a first generation. Is it for 10 years? It's a first generation MacBook Air.
Apple stuff, I think, gets expensive. It's expensive. Some of it's worth it. I think some of it's not. But their hardware is of good quality. I have to agree. Their hardware is high quality.
Yeah.
Oh,
like if you're going to be the person who wants to upgrade it, if you're going to want to upgrade your machine, then you don't really want to buy an Apple product, right? But if you're like, well, I just want to buy it and then use it until it dies.
They've done some impressive work with M1. I think people are maybe I think people are maybe overstating how awesome M1 is, but M1's still a very solid first effort, and it's going to really, I think, shake things up a lot. All right, door flip. Nice.
So now I'm in first place.
That gets you to first place. Exactly what you wanted. Exactly what you wanted.
And it was a good weight, that one, because it was 5, 6, and 8. So
I just hate Apple software.
Still got your iPhone video and Yeah, I don't know, like, except because I've got this Microsoft Surface, and I have to be honest that despite it looking shiny and nice, it's not as robust as my MacBooks have been. Which is a shame because the Microsoft Surface is a hell of a lot more expensive than a MacBook would be. And also, the other thing I really don't like about, so I know people complain that you have to take your Apple products to the Apple Store if you want to get them fixed and keep your warranties or whatever. But like every time I've had them, I've taken them to, the cost hasn't been ridiculous, right? Like they've replaced the screen, or they've replaced the battery, or they've replaced the buttons or whatever. And it's, I've had to pay for it, but it's not been obscene. Whereas if I want to fix anything on my Surface Book, they won't let me, right? I just have to pay. What was it? Like you have to pay £500 or something just to get a refurbished model sent to you because they're not going to repair it. I know. I was just like, really? Are you kidding me?
We
Like,
have a physical location here in New York, at least. We have a Microsoft
so we used
store.
to.
Yeah.
We used to. So I used to be. I did take one of my Surface Books, and they couldn't fix it because the battery had expanded and it was going to explode. So, but so they couldn't. So they used to be able to fix it, but now they can't fix them. They just send you a refurbished product.
I will say also, like, the network of Microsoft stores in existence is nothing compared to the network of Apple stores in existence. So, like, I can't really call that, like, a comparable offering at all. But,
no, yeah, you have to be, oh, God, right, yes. Yeah, you have to be in a major hub, like, not even a big city, but, like, in New York or London.
Gotta get the E2. Can't not get that E2.
Yeah, I'm certainly not going to close it off. People with Apples, if you want to do something unexpected, relative to mine want to play a zip music file on iPhone. Oh, no, you can't do that. No.
Yeah, no. That's why. That's actually why I won't buy Apple products. Is because I hate the fact that they just, everything is so locked down, and frankly, like, their use cases never align with what I want to do ever. Like, ever, the way they want people to use them.
It's good for people like my mum, because
sure.
she's never going to want to do that. So, and I don't have to hear her whinge that she can't get it to do things, because it basically it's press the button. It's like for the most idiotic monkeys they can find.
I don't know. I have a lot of problems with the world today as it stands, but
I hope Apple is not a top priority in the.
It's not the top priority. It's up there though. It's up there. This is rough. That 7. So if we get a HOTS as our pair, that 7 so is gonna have to. Oh, are we doing it?
Yes, I did it. They had a HOTS as well. You should see the stress on my face. Yeah, I've lost my first place now. Now I'm back down to third. That's okay. It's close still.
Yeah. And it's your deal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's very close.
Speaking of Mahjong as a sport, did you watch the M League draft? Was it this week?
How would I have watched the M League draft? Is there a way for me to do it? I didn't even know I could.
Yeah, you can just watch it online. I mean, I have to be honest, It wasn't that exciting, so you didn't miss much. It was like, so they put people in like little plastic booths. They put like 8 men in suits in little plastic booths because they're having a big coronavirus problem over there at the moment. Mm-hmm. They put them all in, and then like they were like making these faces as they were choosing their new players, and then it was like whoever. The poor cameraman was really getting the most out of his like zooming and panning techniques.
Did anyone did they get a pie in the face if they weren't chosen? Like, what happened to them?
Well, no, because of, I mean, they used to do it. So I think the very first draft they did actually get like they went to hall and they bought lots of professionals who were hoping to get into M League. They got them in the hall, so there was a bit of a buzz. Now they kind of stopped doing those kind of big events, and certainly they wouldn't have been able to do it this year even if they'd wanted to. So let me reach. Yeah, so I didn't bring my phone over, which had all the things, all the people on. Yeah, so it was a bit dull, I have to be honest. The picks were not exciting. I'm going to be honest with you. So if you remember, I think a few weeks ago I said that Taki quit Exford in Kazan, and then there were lots of rumors that he'd be picked up by Mahjong Fight Club, Konami's team, and of course he was. And then the rest. I mean, so there was one who won the audition. So he got in from RMU, which was exciting. But all the rest were JPML, Renmei peeps. And, they're great players. But I was just like, I know they want to like replicate this kind of excitement, this draft kind of excitement that I guess they do in America. I mean, we don't have this kind of behavior here.
The thing about the draft is that at least in America, there's 2 kinds of excitement that I'm aware of around these types of things. One is like an existing celebrated player wants to make a move. And everyone's all like, where are they going to go? Who's going to get them? Everyone's going to offer for them.
Does that player get to make a decision, or do they just get... Because here, we just sell them like they're chattel.
It depends. It depends on a bunch of different factors. whether their contract's over, like what their status is. Sometimes it's true it's a trade between two organizations. Sometimes a player is like a free agent. If they're very good or very desirable, they can be like, I'm the one who signed my contract. My contract expired, and I'm picking. Everyone come and beg me to be on like that LeBron bullshit that happened all those years ago and since a little bit. And so there's always and I mean also the other thing is, especially in team sports, when you have a player who's that well regarded or that kind of dominant on the team, you're going to kind of reshape the team around them. So now you have this interesting thing of like, how are we going to reshape the team to feature this player's skills? And like, there's stuff going on there. And that's one type. And then the other type is drafts for new players. And this, I think, like most people don't really get that involved in this because they don't know. Because all these new players have been playing in college for the past 2 or 3 years.
That's college football, right?
So like they have a track record. So people who are into following are aware of all these players and what they've been doing and how they've been playing, and they think, oh, maybe this player will work well with this, and maybe this player will go over there, and maybe they're going to want to grab this person, and like who are the hot people and who are the not so hot people. And like the beginning of the draft, the thing people care about is how are the people with the early draft picks going to pick from the hottest people. And like the later draft, I think no one but the most dedicated sports fans really cares about like 40th place draft picks and crap like that, because they're just average players who are getting picked up, which, good for them. They're making their way into the pro leagues. It's great. Ooh, an extra flip.
I know, that was
Riichi
nice.
Mahjong.
So I'm back into first, yes.
Beautiful. And I feel like the problem with the M League draft is it doesn't have either of these excitements going on.
No, exactly. And, I mean, so for football here, like there's the transfer window. So you can only transfer in a particular window, right? And then there's lots of excitement about who's going to go where. And, and we do have, because they don't play in college. We don't have in college football like you guys do. But they've been playing in those teams. They'll all have junior. Yes, they'll all have junior teams, right? That they're picking players out of. So. Right. And and that can be quite popular with a lot of people, especially those who are really into football or aspiring to be a football player. Yeah,
people really into football are going to be tracking those junior teams and seeing who the cool up and coming people are and getting hype about where they're going to go and who's going to pick them up and and that's for the bigger fans. Like people who aren't really huge fans probably don't pay too much attention until after it happens and they see who their team picked up. And they're
but
like,
as you say, it's kind of nice, like you've got that surface level of like, oh, is so and so going to move over there? Like I know that they want, they've maybe they've been on the bench for the last few, the last season, so maybe they're looking to move, or their team is looking to sell them on,
Yeah.
So it's all a little bit exciting. That's
the other interesting thing I think about a lot of these bigger team sports is that you do have a bench. Like I feel like M League doesn't have that. There's not the concept of, here's a player who's pulled in sometimes, or who gets, and frankly, I've seen many times in American football, in a big game with a big injury, some player who was on the bench all season gets to come in out of nowhere and either fail spectacularly or like be a hero. And that's a really exciting moment in the game. Like there's lots of these things that happen that M League for various reasons just isn't really set up to provide.
You're right. I hadn't thought about that you do. You have these like strange kind of sudden excitements. Someone gets injured, something unexpected happens, which means another unexpected thing happens, and everyone it's interesting, right? It creates this interest.
You get a player in who's not usually in, or something different, or something has to adapt. And it's hard. I mean, there's not going to be any, I hope, in-game injuries in Mahjong. I guess
coronavirus has made the excitement of whether they're going to catch COVID or not. It's been a little bit of a problem because I know Nikaido Aki actually caught.
Oh, dear.
Nikaido Aki or Rumi?
I think you said it was Rumi, but I could be wrong.
It might have been Rumi, actually, yeah. But, of course, she's a close contact of Aki. They unfortunately got COVID. She's fine, and she's... but a few pros have managed to get unwell. And that's annoying.
To continue my joke, if Mahjong was played by like European football, that would definitely happen. You definitely find players just hurling themselves out of their chairs to the ground after a bad discard during which they were clearly body slammed by the dealer, causing an injury and red carding the dealer out of the game.
Ruled it to be a dive, and then you get like a free discard. Is that how it works?
You get a free discard.
We can make this game happen.
No, it'll be penalty draws. You get free draws, right?
I mean, when you say Mahjong needs exploitative college feeders, I mean, the world of Mahjong, I don't know, there's no exploitative. Actually, I think groups like JPML do a lot to protect their players. I'm sure other leagues do. I couldn't tell you because I'm not involved with them, but certainly JPML are very protective of their players. They're very cautious and they look after you well. However, like the whole industry of Mahjong, is quite difficult and I'd say a little bit exploitative. Like, if you're just working in a parlor, often you might not be being paid, or you might be just staked, and you can, to get paid, you have to win money on the
That sounds a
tables.
lot like college football.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
our big
like,
problem here with college football. Is that frankly, like college football is a big industry, and
yeah,
those student athletes pulling in all the money for college football do not get paid.
yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, of course, JPML doesn't pay its players, so they don't do that at all. But the way you get paid as a professional mahjong player in Japan is you secure work for yourself, right? Now, JPML will
Out of
help
respect
you
to
get
100.
that work, and they'll look after your career, and they will help with your training. But they don't provide a salary themselves unless you're a staff member, and the staff members are not doing things that lots of people think that they'd imagine pros doing. But they're like managing the studio, or they're doing admin, or they're helping out in the dojo. So it's not, it's not like, it's not big celeb life, I think, that people get into their heads. That was a bit painful, losing my East. So you take the biggest hand in the game. To a penalty shootout.
Yeah, do a penalty shootout.
The Brits will just lose strangely to the Germans every single time.
No one knows why this happens.
Despite the only goal being to shoot the ball into the goal, into the back of the net, we still don't manage to do that. That's the only thing we have to do. Anyway. And then we're racist about it, because why? Like, why are we like this? Oh, pisses me off so much. As soon as those poor boys missed those penalties, I was like, right, I guess tomorrow is, freebie day for the racists.
That's the question. I don't know. I feel like it's tough to bring that level of excitement. I don't know. If you want to bring that level of excitement to something like M League, you need to build M League into a broader thing. And this is kind of where I think football and other things are more viable. You need people to have teams that they can connect to, that they feel like they want to support, and you need there to be a lot of them. You need a lot of teams, because you need feeders for people to come up through.
I will caveat all of this, though, with they're not making M League for us. They're making M League for them. And the Japanese demands on how those kinds of Farfetch. Like their demands on like those kind of entertainment products are quite different to ours. Like, I can't stand the AKB48 model, but that's basically very successful, right? AKB48
it is very successful.
Exploitative part of shit, if you ask me. But
I can't believe you'd say such a thing.
They managed to suspend their disbelief in ways that I couldn't ever quite comprehend.
Okay, that con has revealed. How do we do this? Do we wait on the 8 or the Green Dragon?
I don't know, Dave. I really don't. I'm going to wait for the Green Dragon.
Yeah, probably.
Because I think friend here on the left is trying to make all green.
I was going to say, I'm a little nervous about this all green action on the left, so I really don't feel like Green Dragon can ever come out of your hand.
No. Oh, look,
Even
let's throw this 3 recklessly into it.
Probably shouldn't be. Oh, jeez. Well, it's fine. That is the third one, though, so they can't pung it. They'd have to be
watching
Tenpai
to any
on it.
gacha spins. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So anyway, for some reason I didn't bring my phone over, which had all of the picks, and I'm trying to remember exactly who was picked. Taki was picked for Konami. Date Pro was picked. I don't know. It's on my Twitter feed. Someone go on my Twitter feed and tell me.
Your feeder tweet. Oh my God.
Yeah, AKB is actually quite popular. Yeah, it's not as big as it used to be. It used to be much bigger, and I think the problem was they diluted their brand as well. Like, you used to have AKB48, and then you had like an AKB48 in every single, not even like major city in Japan, but like even the tiny cities suddenly had this troop of girls.
Was there one here called AKB Lower 48?
And it was the fact that they called themselves AKB48 and then quickly exceeded the 48 cap.
I don't know. That's what kind of battle royale fame thing is.
But they're throwing lots and lots of women in, right? Girls. They're throwing lots of girls in, so that everyone feels children. Yeah, and everyone, these fans feel that they can find one that they own, basically, right? Because or the people who also like them is such a small group that they feel very special.
Yeah, you want to create like a sub fan group.
Yeah, and me and Dave actually went to an M League game, and actually I thought that was quite fun. I thought the buzz in the hall was really, really good. It was something I hadn't appreciated watching it from the outside on a stream, so that was good.
Ooh, I like these chins. I like having these chins. Wait, what sounds horrible? Going to M League? It wasn't horrible. It was fun. I'm assuming it's something else.
I think
But
it must be AKB48
must be
related.
AKB48. Oh my god. Are we gonna
You've
do
got
it? Oh my
there's someone
god,
at
we're
your
doing
door.
it.
There's someone at your door.
There is, but that's not my problem. Yet. It will
I
be.
kind of wish I'd ordered takeout pizza now.
Oh, you should get some pizza. You should come here and get some pizza. We got some great pizza. Oh no! I guess you'd already thrown one, but it was the new Dora.
I know, but it was. I don't see how I could incorporate it at this
Just
point.
hold on to it and draw the other two.
I know, but it's double Dora. It's not only Dora, but it's double hand for someone, right?
Yeah, just
I don't want to be holding that in my hand.
Just draw a million.
No, I'm going fast. Now I'm just going to call everything through. The things that the kids have to go through. It's awful. And like they make you sign like contracts, right? That they can't have a boyfriend. I presume a girlfriend either. I'm not sure, but they probably don't. They probably don't think that lesbians exist still, so they don't have to write that in there. And also they make them like kiss each other and stuff for entertainment. So maybe they can't. It's really, some of the videos they've done are really, considering that they're children, it's really not okay.
I don't like this very much at all.
Yeah, one of the videos, Shiral, I'm not going to be able to tell you which video it is, but there was one that even caused drama in Japan for being way too much. And I was like, wow, Japan said that something was too much. It must be bad. And it was bad. It was really bad. Anyway, so yeah, AKB48 is not as popular as it used to be, but it really was huge at one time.
Well, I feel like the general media structure there is something we have in America, of like oh whoa.
Oh, that was painful for me.
Why not the 5?
Because it's the Dora.
Oh yeah, that's a good reason.
Yeah, I had a good reason.
No flips though. Actually, that's like the least painful it could have been.
Yeah.
That's actually not as bad as it could have been at all.
But it's the suspension of disbelief. That these. It's a little bit like how these how people lost their shit when Amaranth may have been married or may not have been married. We still don't know. Like everyone was like,
I know, I'm sure she's married.
No, I think she denied it. Like last year. I mean, I don't know. I don't care either.
Yeah, like it's not like it upsets me.
Like, her answer in the end was like, it's none of your business whether I've got a boyfriend or a husband or anything, right? Like, if you like the entertainment product I'm selling, buy the entertainment product I'm selling. Otherwise, don't. Like, I think, and that's the thing. I think people believe that some of what these AKB48 girls are doing is their real lives. But just like most Beatles were married the entire time, right? And they still sold them as still sold them as products that women could fantasize over, right?
Interesting. I didn't know. I never paid much attention.
It's a little like, imagine this can be 13 offers. Anyway, so back to M League. Let's stop talking about stupid AKB48. This is not a bad hand though.
No, it's got some potential.
So out of the 6 picks that there were, only one of them was RMU, and that was the gentleman who won the audition. The rest were JPML, and then there was like this big drama from people that they were all JPML, they were all Renmei players, and that it wasn't fair, and that these other leagues like Kyokai, and I wish I could tell you how they make their English name, and I think it's NPM, I think it's Nihon Pro Mahjong.
I've heard that before.
Let's just call them Kyokai for now, because otherwise I'll get confused.
I think it's funny if they use NPM, but anyway.
Well, NPM. It's really.
It's a tech thing. There's another tool called NPM that's commonly used. So having that acronym used is kind of funny, but that's all.
Yeah. So anyway, so they, lots of fans were like, "Well, this is not fair. Like, why are JPML?" And then there was accusations that JPML put pressure on businesses to push forward their players. Blah blah blah.
I got the 8-9 safe on this at least, so you can get rid of that and hang out.
And then one of the big people from JPML, Kuroki, he's lovely. He is lovely. He looks like he's got a scary face, but he's really lovely. He wrote an article about basically, it kind of lifted the lid a little bit on M League and how it worked. And basically he denied that JPML put pressure on these companies to pick certain players. And he refuted the idea that they'd even have the power to put that kind of pressure on. And then he then makes a video stream, and he basically just goes like, if you think, it's all about the value to the value to the companies. That's what they're picking players for. They're picking the players that they can sell. And the players that they can sell might not necessarily be the best players. And I thought, basically everything I've been saying for a while, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's about a public-facing image. It's about what's going to get them ratings and value.
Well, because they need money, right? Like these
they're selling.
It's not cheap. Like, I have no idea how much it costs for them to run an M League team for the year, but a lot, right? And so they have to make sure that they can get that value back. Now, whether that value back is from, getting your brand better known. I mean, we were looking at things like Konami and Sega. I think their brands are known enough. They probably don't have to do that. Okay. But they need something where let's push their brand, or they're going to sell merchandise and other things to recover what they're spending on these things. Which is something you don't get in American football, right?
My face is based on this hand.
I know. But like for American football, basically if you are good, if you're a really good football player, you're likely going to get picked, right?
Well, yeah, but that's because football isn't at all selling. Football selling team performance. Football is not so much selling individual players. I mean, it's true that some individual players make, living doing sponsorships, being photogenic, being popular, being pleasant. Like, that's the thing some people do, sure.
But how many of those people who are being sponsored, how many of them are poor players?
Wait, what?
Like, so if you're going to get, let's say, I don't know, do Coca-Cola, do Nike sponsor American football players? Would they sponsor a player that was underperforming?
Oh, no, for sure not.
Exactly.
Because everyone would be mad. They'd be like, because they're a loser. Yeah. Like, why would you have a loser sponsor your thing? Because they lose all the time and they're bad at the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends though, because I mean, there are definitely some players that are popular but don't always win that'll keep their sponsorships if they lose. It's not like losing will make companies be like, see you later.
They have to play at least, right? And I presume that if you're not performing, then your coach, captain, is not going to put you out on the field, right? I don't know.
But generally, yes. I mean, it really depends on a lot of circumstances.
Or is it a manager?
It's gonna be the manager, I believe. It depends.
Yeah, okay,
There's multiple different ways that's gonna be done, but it's true that American football definitely does prioritize performance and winning. If you win, you'll be as Bionel says, like, if you're a good player but a bad person, all right, they'll cover for you. It's fine.
And if you kneel on the pitch, then it's everything goes to shit.
completely unacceptable, as we all know.
I'm still confused by that. I'm like, kneeling seems pretty respectful if you ask me.
There's no logic to any of it other than people are desperate to find something to be angry about, and so they do. Like, it's all the worst.
It's really strange to me. Like, I'm like, you know what? If that's the way they want to make a comment, like,
It doesn't matter because people who aren't white will be, like, again, the attitude being displayed. This is not my attitude. But the attitude being displayed in that commentary is that people who aren't white shouldn't say anything.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
it doesn't matter what someone does or how they do it. There are people who are going to say,
yeah, right?
You shouldn't be saying anything. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, they demand that you have peaceful protests and stuff, and I can't see anything much more peaceful than kneeling. Like, it's certainly more peaceful than I forgot which Olympics it was, and I don't even know the poor athlete's name. The guy who put his hand up with the black glove on.
Jackie Owens. Was
right,
that Jackie Owens?
I'm
going to look that up because I should know.
You know what? I'm sorry. This is American history, so it's beyond me now.
Yeah, it was Jackie Owens. Okay, good. I'm not
right. Okay.
No, Jesse Owens. Wait, Jesse Owens?
Jesse Sainz.
Wait, why did it say Jackie Owens? Jesse Owens. It's Jesse Owens. My name recollection is terrible. It's Jesse Owens.
Okay.
Who did that?
Right. So that's more aggressive than kneeling in my mind.
I don't even think that's aggressive. That's not an aggressive gesture. In my mind, that gesture doesn't have a history of being aggressive.
It wouldn't upset me, but I guess what my point is that I'm like,
Ooh.
Kneeling is pretty nothing. Anyway, so yeah, our football players started doing that. People got upset, and it's funny. I was like, do you know what? I probably wouldn't kneel personally, but it's certainly,
I like 1,000% would.
Do you know what? And it comes down to the fact that I'm very concerned about using American narratives on race relations that don't apply here.
That's true. I mean, but I am actually saying that in the context of being here in America,
Yeah.
it's true. Like somewhere else, it is, I think, different. I don't know how I don't know. Oh my God.
That was unfortunate, but it's not disastrous. Yeah, I mean, it's
It's
and you know,
frustrating.
also I'm never in a situation where I feel I have to make a decision because no one gives a shit if I kneel or not.
That's also
You have
true.
to watch me try to get. What I really loved about the UK football players is when they knelt, it looked more like they were doing like a stretch or
They do like
something.
a lunge.
Yeah, they're like doing a little like low lunge. Like really, they had their hands on their hips. And I swear to God, some of them were like, "Yeah, I'll just move out this hamstring a little bit more whilst I'm down here."
Might as well get some
And you
value
know,
out of it, but
yeah, I don't, yeah, it's yeah, I didn't clap for the NHS when that whole thing went down for COVID either, because you know I'm obviously a grumpy bitch,
oh,
but I
I
support
didn't know.
everyone
Thanks
who
for letting me know.
exactly you would never notice. I
Yeah,
support
yeah.
anyone who wants to do things like that because they should be allowed to do that, you know, in especially in a country of free speech. What were we talking about? Anyway, back to M League. Back to M League. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, so yeah, I
Oh,
thought
the
it was
draft.
interesting. Anyway, the draft. I'd like to point out as well, like you know, it's I I know I don't do I rag on M League a lot? I don't want it to come across as I'm ragging on them because if it's enjoyable and you're enjoying it, you should definitely enjoy it, right? Um,
But
but there are different types of mahjong going on, and there's space for all of them, right? There's the mahjong that you want to watch, and it's got characters, and you can get attached to those personalities, and you can enjoy it, and you can learn more about their playstyle. But I think probably the best mahjong being played is probably being played out in the leagues, in the actual leagues. Does that make sense?
oh
So
yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
JPM have A League and all of that, and that's probably where the better mahjong is actually being played out, because you don't have to be picked to go there. You know, you can work your way up through your merit, through your ability at mahjong,
I just think it's
rather than
frustrating how not exposed enough that is.
yeah.
You know, like I wish there were better
I think
ways
it's
to expose that
exposed.
play.
I think it's exposed if you're in Japan.
Hmm.
Again, you know, and so everything they're making, and I think you know, Western fans forget that everything they're making is for them. It's not for us. They don't give a shit whether we like it or not. Why would they? We're not paying for the product.
Because they want us to like things. Maybe they're just nice people.
So I do care about it. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Cho. I care about it in that you know I want mahjong to be big and I don't know. I get it. I you know this is WRC sits in a situation where I hope that anyone who got good at mahjong could qualify and come in and play with you know the best people, right?
Mm. Sorry, I'm super.
That's what that's and but then you know it's not going to do what Emily's going to do, which is you know be polished and classy and everyone love it.
I still think there's so much more they could do. I still wish they would just give me total control of their brand.
I know, but then you wouldn't be making something for Japan. You'd be
Oh
making
no, I'd be
something
making
you
something
thought
for
was
a
good.
much bigger audience that would pay a lot more money.
No, I'm sorry. There is not a bigger audience for mahjong in America. End of story. There isn't.
There is if you sell it to them.
No, I mean, I think you'd find that difficult. Fuck you, Dora.
Oh. Oh no.
I mean, unless we turn it into like the wrestling and we just let you know players literally take their chairs and whack them over the heads of other
Oh my
players.
god. Hello, Dora.
People would love that. Yeah, I know. Even internationally doesn't become naturally to Japanese, but hey, yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, the Americans
Oh
are
my
not that. I mean, look at
god.
oh, like it's not like the Americans. You know, despite having these huge sports, none of those sports in America has really managed to gain much traction outside. I mean, partly that's because you know,
Because we don't try.
Brit- Britain had a huge empire and we forced everyone to play things that we
Too.
liked, and then we sucked at them and
The
everyone,
Earl of
and then
Henry
everyone
Dispenser.
enjoyed it. Everyone enjoyed it because they could beat their you know their colonial masters'
Yeah.
asses, which is
Well,
good.
it was
You know,
you could yeah, you could just force the British to lose and then they'd be like, I don't know how that happened.
and then the other thing is you know like people keep picking up poker, and then poker is good, but you know they chose Texas Hold'em for its ability to be filmed, right? Because it has the community cards.
Well, poker's good and bad because I feel like poker also was a forced meme. Like they pushed poker. Poker got very pushed.
Yeah,
And
well,
then
but people sat in a room and made a conscious decision that Texas Hold'em was going to be the version of poker that they
sure,
would push.
sure. Agreed.
But we haven't got that. How are we going to make community cards? You know, it's difficult to film even. At least with poker, you literally just have to put a camera under the table and you can see everyone's cards.
Mm.
And if they're not changing constantly, the cards are fixed. Once the cards are dealt, the cards are there. You know, they're not changing every 10 seconds.
Sure. But I don't know. I still just, I have my gut feeling is always that people eat what they're fed. And to some degree, if you just...
Now I know what Dave's mom was like.
Yeah. You get what you get, and you don't get upset. I heard someone say once. But like, if again, there's no way to do this. This is not like a viable thing to actually do. But if you gave me an infinite budget and I just kept making the media and kept publicizing it and kept advertising it, it would gain traction. You just keep putting it in front of people. It doesn't matter what it is. If people will play Farmville, they can do this.
We shouldn't be taking what Japan is making their product for their market. We shouldn't be taking that and trying to repurpose it for us. We should just be making our own product here.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Just give me complete control of N-League.
Okay, right, okay, yes.
And then
okay, so then you would just screw the Japanese audience?
I wouldn't. They could still watch it. Maybe they'd learn to like it. They'd be like, wow, guess what?
I don't
Dave's
think
pretty
they would.
good at this.
Well, I mean, you'd make an event where people couldn't take bottles in with caps on because
Gemma, let me ask you a very simple question. A very simple question.
Okay. On this.
How dumb and terribly produced was the last season of Game of Thrones?
Oh God, well, that was the script as well. Oh, it was so bad.
How many people watched that?
How did they? Well, we
had to. How many people watched that?
It was the last season.
You didn't have to. You could have turned it off at any time, but you watched it. You did. I didn't watch it. Oh my God, what is going on? Hold on. What is this Sananko? What is this? They call this hand Gemma's Revenge. Maybe. I don't know. Oh my God.
You didn't watch it, Chiral. Did you know what? Like, I think what was the good season was, I think it was season 5 when it got so silly as well. Like Tyrion was there going like, "Oh wow, it's dragons! I couldn't believe these existed." And I'm like, "Really? You've seen all the other magic crap happen, and now you don't believe in this?" Like it's like Harry Potter, and he's amazed at magic every time. He's like, "Ooh, magic!" Like for fuck's sake.
Yeah, dude, you live in Magic Town. It's full of magic. You're surrounded by also magic, and everyone is teaching you to do magic. You'd think you'd just at some point be like, "Well, yeah, it's magic."
Like, if he's a teenager as well, he'd be so obnoxious about it. He'd be like, "Of course it's magic."
Yeah, magic. Yeah. Duh. Idiots. It's magic.
I'd like to see Bresnik on a horse. Like,
I'm super here for this hand.
I would pay to watch. You know, he'd be like Putin on the horse. You know.
What? Hey, whoa!
I don't know. I'm just saying words now.
I'm not a dictator / kind of murderer.
But those pictures on the horse, they're pretty good.
I might not have done that, but you did it and it worked out.
Yeah, it was a little risky.
I don't like any of this. It's all the worst.
My God, this player is doing it. Like
Jesus. And their own Sananko. And more. Oh my God.
It's over.
Welp.
And I'm third. Wow. Don't need to be shy now. Oh my God.
Jesus. All right. Wow. Their own Sananko out from under your Sananko. Gemma, this is not your day. Today, this is a day where every good play you make gets, like, undercut out from under you. I'm sorry. This sucks.
I feel a bit annoyed by that, actually. But, I mean, you know, he played well. He wasn't like he was, you know... He was building up. He was building up with all those hands. He was making good stuff, and then you know, to be honest, getting that insane hand at the end was the lucky play. But he deserved it.
It was lucky,
right?
but it was made. It was done. Like no, I'm not in any way. I have no criticism. Great play. It's just frustrating from your end, and I've we've all been there where it's like you're doing the right thing too. Like you're making good plays too, and everything's getting great hands, all coming together. It's all going, and then someone else just like, no, actually, I win. Sorry.
Okay, well, I translated the Kuroki's opinion piece from Kindai, so I will share that with the gang here, so they can read it. Just make sure you click the link at the top so poor Kindai do get their. I don't know if clicks matters to them, but you may as well. Yeah, they're huge amounts of advertising revenue or something. But yeah, so I did translate. It's kind of rough, so don't at me. I did it in a few minutes. Anyway, so you can see what Kuroki. I thought it was an interesting article because rarely do you see these kinds of machinations about the actual business of what they're doing kind of bubble up to the surface. So it was for me, it was a really interesting insight, even as someone who is sometimes on the inside and knows what these people are thinking. It was really interesting that they would publish it and let their fans in. I mean, JPM takes a lot of shit from people, a lot of shit. They get accused of a lot of things, and most of it is not true. My favorite one was when one major commentator in the Mahjong world accused. I don't know. Their point was really bizarre because at some point JPML they incorporated, right? They didn't used to be incorporated, and they incorporated so that they could make sure that they were compliant with new tax laws, and make sure tax was paid, and they could collect sales tax in the correct and proper manner, right? And someone was like, "This is a big conspiracy." I'm like, "What? What's the big conspiracy? Like collecting tax for the government?" Because I kind of agree with you, but I'm not sure that's JPML's fault. Yeah, like really, really bizarre criticism sometimes. Some criticisms, I think, I mean, JPML is a massive machine now. I think Kuroki at some point comments that there's over 700 active pros that are looking for work in JPML, but there are definitely way more than that who are signed up to JPML and attending their league sessions and stuff. So it is a business, and they're not going to lie to you, And I think sometimes Europeans and Americans struggle with that because everything we do is not a business.
It's
we are more grassroots.
Well,
yeah,
it's more of a hobby for a lot of people, and I think that changes a lot of aspects.
A lot of Mahjong players as well. That they go to the parlors and they enjoy their time, but But Moriyama is not Jeff Bezos, let me tell you that now.
What?
I know. Although, to be fair, if he went to space in a penis-shaped rocket, I would not be surprised. I'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, I see it.
Just laughing the whole way.
Yeah,
and then thanking everyone for paying for it. Like, I'd like to thank you idiots for paying for this so that I can go to space.
He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that.
He probably wouldn't do that. He'd probably do that. He'd just message you. He'd be like, Gemma, guess what these idiots paid for?
See, I don't think he would, actually. No, he's too adorable. Like, it's interesting, actually. There's never any discussion about how customers pay for the product there, which I always thought was weird.
Alright, we got, sleep.
It is quick now.
Alright, you gotta win. You gotta win this game.
So yeah, but I don't know. I do keep thinking, like, how would we make a league in the West? And it's difficult. I think the biggest difficulty is there's just no locations,
just
right?
Gotta pay people.
Yeah, but you need a location. You need a place that people can go to play and to learn.
Well, yeah, you do. You need a physical place for people to do things at. But like, really, what you need is for people to feel invested, which means they have to either pay to be in, or you have to pay them to be there. Because otherwise, you end up with the same problem that everyone got every time, year over year, when people tried to make an amateur league, is the attendance is spotty at best. People fall off immediately, and you cannot schedule your league because you don't know who's going to show up every time, and it becomes a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, Le Pom and PML, and they do have parlors of their own.
Sure.
But
a physical location helps people show up.
It's difficult to scale that up, though. I think it's really difficult.
Unless it's like a franchisable business, which it kind of can't be at this point.
No. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think people obsess over the content creation for the Western market. But the content creation came after in Japan, right? They got people playing the game, and then they created the content. I'm not convinced that just creating the content is going to create players.
Yeah, I've agreed with that for a good long while. Like, just making videos or just doing things. I mean, it might be nice. You might have fun
just doing
it.
this silly stream. Like, we do it because we have fun.
I enjoy doing this stream, and I'm sure a lot of people enjoy broadcasting their games. They enjoy making, that's great. If you enjoy it. We should
definitely do it, yeah.
Awesome. But it's not going to make an audience. Like, making it, I've been out there, doing the hard work of making an audience. So, you go to a convention, you talk to people, you teach them to play. Like, it's work. It's just straight up work, and you need more stuff has to be in place to even make it viable to do. And I think
they can come to a convention, right, and you can teach them mahjong, but then they're going to go home, and even if they can watch our videos on Twitch or other people's on YouTube, blah blah blah, then they're still not going to be a player because there's no one to play with.
Yeah, that's where it gets difficult.
You get the hardcore that do manage to kind of come online and learn to play online more, but it's
some percentage of people do it, sure.
Yeah.
But like it's hard, it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Twitch Mahjong community. I love the Final Fantasy Mahjong community. I think the Final Fantasy Mahjong community is amazing. And all these communities are amazing. It's just, it's not reaching that kind of critical mass that would start creating the kind of product that M League is serving. Most big Mahjong streamers are big because they became popular doing something else first, right?
Yeah, exactly. And
I've
seen people do Mahjong and then move on to doing something else after, like...
Yeah, well, you have to if you're a serious Twitch streamer, right? You're gonna have to keep changing it up. I don't think any of the big Twitch streamers just do one thing, right? Like some of them started on, oh god, what's that stupid thing over Fortnite? You know?
I mean, a lot of people started the Fortnite and then stuck there, but it's true. Like there's a constant, and this is this is part of the problem with media landscape. Like there's a constant drive for novelty. People don't want to watch the same thing over and over and over again. So eventually, they all have to move on to at least trying other things, which isn't necessarily
like
harmful or anything. I was going to say just different video games, but sure.
I don't know what I'm doing with this hand, by the way. I'm cocking it up. That's
pure flush.
I should start calling then, really.
Yeah.
And I've got this red 5, and I've got no pair. Yeah, I'm not sure Twitch is really, I love doing this stream with Dave. How many years have we done this now, Dave? A long time.
Oh, God, too many years. It's been a long time. It's been a good while.
It's been a long time. But it's, here we sit in the teams.
Yeah.
We do it because we enjoy it. Yeah, we do it because we enjoy it.
Break through to real Twitch stardom is not like...
Oh, we'd have to become VTubers, Dave, you know that, right?
Oh, probably. Or, we'd have to stream daily or stuff like that. Like, there's so many things you have to do to get yourself to that point. It's a little silly. Spice after some front.
I talk about Amaranth. Oh my god, there was the other. I've got other tales from the influencer world.
Oh dear.
Oh, I told you, Dave, about the girl who painted her floor, but painted around her dirty laundry.
Did tell me that. That's crazy.
That has been living in my head this entire time now. I can't get over it. So actually, Dave put me onto this influencer, but he'll deny it because he doesn't want to admit that he cares about influencers.
I don't want to admit that. I don't care about influencers. What the heck? How dare you?
There you go. See exactly what I said. Anyways, this influencer called Caroline Calloway, and at some points I feel like I'm exploiting her because she's clearly having a mental breakdown most of the time.
I want that 3-man. Give me a 3-man. Oh.
Yeah. So she's anyway. So she decided to paint her floors white. Like she didn't. But she just used wall paint and then painted her floors white. And instead of moving any of her crap, she just painted around it, including the dirty pile of laundry. It was the most special thing anyway. Oh, Navitas is a long comment that I want to read.
Isn't it?
I think the problem is that we just need to watch if you have no idea what's going on. Yeah, something like Emily. I say this from my own personal. I feel like it's taken me 1,000 hand shots to get to the point where I can finally track 4 different hands with the camera switching between them. Yeah.
This remains one of my pet peeves about what people do when they try to videotape Riichi Mahjong is they get into this mode where they're like, what do the Japanese produce? And that's what they produce. They produce this very rapid, switched perspective of all the hands. You're flicking from hand to hand to hand to hand, draw, discard, draw, discard, draw, discard. And, of course, your players are trained or acclimated to playing pretty quick. So, draw, discard, go, 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 go. And for someone who's not familiar with the game, they will get nothing. They will get absolutely nothing out of looking at that other than epilepsy or an epileptic episode. No disrespect to those who have a condition, but, it's nothing but flashing lights to them. It's not good.
Yeah. And I think the reason for that though is because the Japanese, they've got better memories. They've played Mahjong a long time. It's disturbing how good my memory is for Mahjong now. I can recall how Garth is even better than me. If you ask Garth, he can pull back entire games from his memory. So they can cope with the rap. Yeah, he's very good. Despite having drunk way too much in his life, his memory is rock solid. He's really good. It's really impressive.
That is actually really impressive.
It's really impressive. And I've noticed my memory is pretty good now as well. Like I can recall, I think we had 2 weeks ago, I said, no, the 7-man definitely discarded. And I can see it, I can visualize it. It's there. And I think, that's why they're producing it for their market, right? Their market can easily cope with that. And secondly, a lot of them are watching it on phones because most people who consume content in Japan consume it on their mobile phones, which means you don't want four tiny hands. Better to have one hand flicking, right? I don't think that's necessarily true for the Western market. I think a lot of people probably consume content on their computer screens.
I think there's a lot of phone consumers. A computer screen isn't a bad target, but there's a lot of phone consumers still. Oh well, that ends
I'm
up being...
East again on East only. Like this.
East,
I might have to go back to turn 8
time.
cats onto a mahjong table.
Oh god, that's a lot of cats.
That's well done, Chiral, for organising. Yay! Yeah. You are doing the thing this community needs the most.
It's true. Rudolor, that works very well at a convention when you can see people sitting and playing. People are curious. What are they doing? Why are they so into it? Like, what is this thing? Can I look at it? Can I watch? And they can watch. They can walk right up to the table. You know, we usually just tell people to give them, like, a pace. But, like, you can walk right up to the table and look and watch and try to understand and be like, what is this? What's going on? But even when you're doing that, you're still going to look at, like, one person or one hand. Or maybe you're seeing two hands. You're not going to have your attention, like, yanked by the eyes around the table so rapidly. And I think that's the challenge. I think it's very difficult. Like, can I follow a broadcast like that? Sure, I can follow that broadcast. I don't have a problem with it after all this time. But for new people, they will just get nothing out of it. And I don't know if it's...
I have to be honest, I don't watch the broadcast that much, though. Even though, I find it's not a relaxing entertainment product, is it now? I signed up for it.
Just roped. That's how it works, Carol. You get roped in. You get roped in.
I did everything on both tables.
And then you get super roped in.
Yeah, really low. I really agree. Like the players that I have done, I've only really managed to recruit offline players, like players that I have, brought into my community, my area of mahjong have been online players. They've already become addicted from Mahjong Soul or Ten Hole or something.
Yeah. I would say that it is more common for... Oh man, I got a lot to say about both these things. So for Rogue Legion. That sounds unpleasant. Yeah. That sounds very unpleasant. But I think people have more of a fundamental understanding of the rules of chess. There's two things about chess. It's nothing to be sorry for. There's two important things about chess. Number one is, first of all, there's only two players, right? There's white and black. There's just two sides. So there's less overall interaction and thinking about things going on. And then I'd say, just culturally speaking, at least in the West, most people are fairly familiar with what chess is. It's a game. Each people move a piece. The pieces move in like one of a small number of ways.
I'd be surprised if anyone didn't know the moves of chess pieces.
The basic moves. I would say that most people are not necessarily what I would call chess literate, where if you started talking to them about different openings and different counters, different openings, I think most people would just be like, huh? I have a vague idea that that's a thing, but I don't know anything about that at all. So if you were having a conversation, well, they started with this and they did that, like the terminology and the specifics would be too much for people. But you could
sit down, most people in the West, right, with a chessboard, assume that they both didn't really play chess. They would be able to play a game of chess.
They could probably get through a game of chess.
Yeah.
The other important thing about a game of chess, and getting through a game of chess, which has to do with teaching, is that if I am sitting with you for a game of chess and I make an illegal move, you can say to me, ooh, that's actually not a legal move. You're going to have to take that back, and you're going to have to do a legal move, and I can take it back. Well, if I'm sitting down with three people playing Mahjong, and I say, Rowan, and I flip my hand down, if they're, I can, I guess, in theory, take it back, but by the rules of the game, what I've done is a foul. And we have to start the whole hand over, and everything's ruined, and it's terrible. So I think that's one of the challenges of teaching chess. In terms of teaching Mahjong without losing interest, I will tell you, do not teach people Yaku. Just don't do it. Do not teach Mahjong like you are teaching a board game, where you have to read people literally all of the rules one at a time before they start playing. That is not going to work for most people. There's a small sliver of people who like to learn that way, for whom that will work. But for most people, what you want to get them doing is you want to get them touching and using the tiles as quickly as possible. We have a series of videos on our YouTube channel about what's it called? What's the method?
The Tibet method.
The Tibet method that Ben Boas had shared with me at some point, which is a way of giving people multiple simpler games that build into Mahjong. They start off just very simple, like make one set in a pair, make two sets in a pair, make three sets in a pair, one suit, two suits, eventually three suits, that let them touch the tiles, that let them be able to say, hey, I won, I did it, that let them, get through these really quick little mini games and get a feel for what they're doing, so that by the time they have 13 tiles in front of them trying to build a hand, they have some idea of what they're putting together and how it's going to work. And that's where you can start getting to complete a hand. And then once they start completing a hand, then you can start saying, hey, by the way, kind of like poker, there are certain things you want to put in this hand that give it some value. And then what we'd done in the past, we started with a very limited set of Yaku to work with, and that limited set was based on things that they could call, because people call all the time. You really don't want people. The other thing you want to avoid is you want to avoid telling people, "Ooh, you thought you won, but actually no." So you want to give them Yaku that they can always call. And one of the things we'd advise them to some degree, I can post a link in a little bit to where the tutorial is, by the way, so I'll do that in a second. But like one of the things you want, that I usually told them about those Yaku, is pick one that you're interested in, pick one that you think is good, and just repeatedly play towards that hand. Just say from the beginning of your hand. Now this isn't good play, this isn't like good strategy for high level Mahjong. But at the beginning of your hand, say, I'm going to make Toy Toy. I'm going to make all pungs, that's what I'm going to do. And you just do it, right? And you just make them, you suggest that they do this, and you tell them what you're going to learn from this is when that's going to work and when it's going to be hard. And then you'll be able to look at your hand and say, it looks like this is a hand that could become Toy Toy. Or you'll say this is a hand that will not become Toy Toy. And so as you practice different Yaku and you work more Yaku into your rotation, you'll grow as a player. And again, this has been mostly tested with Americans, with Westerners and Americans. And what I've found for people is that by getting them to touch the tiles quickly, by getting them through a small game quickly, to get to the point where someone wins, where they have the feeling of accomplishment of I'm doing the thing and I understand it, that really helps them gain purchase on the game. And it's a very different attitude. I found that this might sound, I really don't want to sound racist. I'm going to be totally blunt. I really don't want to sound racist, but I found that there's kind of a difference in how cultures like to approach teaching things. And I found that with games, a lot of times when I see how Eastern cultures are approaching games, there's a desire in the player to be like, I studied it all. Like I read the book and I read the whole book and I learned all the rules and I boned up on everything.
I
think
ready. That's even like we said that about Final Fantasy, right? Like before they go into, on the Japanese servers, before they go into a trial, they check the mechanics and they learn about it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I think that on the American server, I don't know about the European server because I'm on the American server mostly. On the American server, I think people mostly, including myself, run those CDs blind the first time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll YOLO trials. I'll do it.
Unless I'm doing like a Savage or an Extreme or something, I do not bother checking.
No, I don't want to buy followers. How do I ban you?
So I will say that actually, so you should definitely use the Tibet method. The Tibet method is amazing, and that came from our good friend Ben Boas. He is lovely. And if you meet him in Japan, you will find that he's lovely too. So. But the thing that I found, and this is a little bit contrary to what Dave just said, is that I actually put learning Mahjong as a secondary activity to just having a good time. Like I'm like, let's just come. We're gonna sit at the table. We're gonna have some laughs. I'm gonna put some snacks out and some drinks, and let's just see how it happens. We'll just see how it goes. And I have most of the time, I just teach them Pinfu to start with, right? So I just say, okay. We're just going to play Pinfu only games. And I explained to them what Pinfu is, which isn't easy.
Pinfu is like one of the harder, it's so basic and yet it's one of the harder Yaku to understand.
Yeah, right. And then once I put all the other ones in, like, once they've got Pinfu and they can build the walls and they're having a good time, everyone's just making Pinfu, then I start lobbing all the other stuff in, right? Then I'm like, okay, let's because the other stuff I feel is a little bit more obvious to people, right? If you've got one of all suits, then most people will be like, well, this must be something. This looks good, right? So I think the perfect teaching method will be somehow getting Ben's Tibetan method with Dave's tutorial and my, just engage them, just keep them engaged. They want to come back again, and keeping them engaged, I think is quite hard. Like
it's challenging. I think some people have a predisposition, like they're already curious about the game. If they already want to learn, that's great because that means they're going to engage themselves. Some people are going to be not so sure.
Yeah, I mean, so...
In my opinion, Navitas, if you're talking about Fu while you're teaching people Mahjong, you're doing something wrong. You should not be mentioning any of that. Like, I literally tell people, we are not talking about scoring. The game ends when you win. Yeah. That's it. You win it. Done.
And I will say, like, like, you're going to get to see some people who, they're just never going to learn much. They're never going to learn it. They're never going to like Mahjong. So what so for the conventions that I used to do with Dave, like, I'd be like, do you know what? If they leave this booth and they're like, wow, Mahjong was a good time. I had a good time. It doesn't, that's enough, right? And so I think I used to do the very, very early beginner sessions mostly, and I would just, I just chat away and we'd have a good time. And then those who were interested, I'm reaching this because I'm not paying attention. Those who were, that's not terrible. But those who were interested would be like, oh, I want to come back for another session.
That's not bad,
and then I would shuffle them over to someone who was a little bit more kind of, okay, let's start learning the serious rules. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I found that kind of dynamic worked quite well, because some of the gentlemen that Dave works with are much more kind of that's the way
very,
they're
very
focused.
Technical. They like doing that kind of thing.
And that's where I struggle. And I thought that was good. Sometimes you have to find out what your little catch is, your gimmick is, and just capitalize on that.
Yeah. You got reach. You did it. But yeah, I think that's actually really important. Is you want people to feel like they have a good time, and so like if you think about it, people don't like feeling confused and overwhelmed and being asked to make secret choices and they don't know if they're making a good one or not. So if you sit someone down, if let's say you do the exact opposite, right? You put someone down on an auto table, you pop up a hand in front of them and say, go, play Mahjong now. Pick a tile to discard. Most people, they're going to look at this big hand, they're going to say, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to build 4 sets in a pair. How do I do that? They're not used to thinking about things this way because it's not a game action they've done before. They're not sure what's good or bad, but you're asking them to choose in secret something. They can't ask you for help. Because otherwise it's weird, or they look like they're a bad player because they have to be like, come over here, I need you to come and help me. So they're just gonna pick something and they're gonna feel bad. And will they know immediately if their discard is good or bad? No, they won't. They'll just draw another tile and stay just as confused. And they'll just keep drawing and discarding tiles at random. I've seen people do this, and they're not dumb people, but they're confused and overwhelmed, and they'll draw and discard tiles at random until at some point the game ends and they're like, okay. And what's in their head is, why was I doing any of that? I just felt confused and dumb the whole time. Mahjong is not fun. That's not what you want to leave them with, right? You want them to be thinking, I'm having a good time, and I'm knowing. And there's definitely, once we started doing things that way, so many more people were able to get to the hurdle of building a 13-tile hand and feeling good about it and feeling like they were doing the right thing and making the right choices. And we're asking the smart questions. Is this a good shape to keep? Is that a good shape to keep? If you tell them to discard terminals, that doesn't help enough. It's not enough, because they still don't really... Why? Why am I discarding terminals on honors first?
Yeah, why would you even have these tiles?
Why are these tiles? Like, what does that mean? Because they haven't gathered enough experience at building a hand, and that's the other valuable piece of this.
That's why Tibetan method is good, Like that's why because it removes those kinds of difficulties from the game in the start.
Because the very first step is 1 set, 1 pair in 1 suit. So at that point, the odds of you drawing a tile that's completely meaningless to you and you'd never want to hold is almost nothing. Like, it's very hard. All the tiles you draw are going to be meaningful and useful. And you keep them there for a little bit so they get comfortable with it, so they understand, this is how I'm going to, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's good because I can get the 1 or the 4 to win. How cool. And then when you introduce the next suit, you explain to them, like, well, actually, even though there's another suit, each suit still kind of lives within itself. You can't mix tiles from the suits, so you're still within the realm of what you understand. There's just a little bit more going on, and they feel comfortable with that, and they feel confident with that. And that's you're kind of trying to build this positive cycle of confidence where you add a new thing and you make them feel good about accomplishing it over and over and over again as they build up to the point where they get that 13-tile hand in front of them and they can break it down in their head and they can understand. And for the record, some people never will. Gemma's right. No. There's some people who, like, I've had to explain what 3 identical tiles mean to, like, 80 times. Every once in a while you'll get someone who has a tough time with it.
It doesn't matter anyway. Like, in the end, we need to play the long game, right? We need people to have a better awareness that Mahjong is not solitaire Mahjong. And if that means that someone comes only for 1 hour session and then just plays around, but then, they can tell their friend, oh, well, I tried it. It was good times. Then that person is more likely to come and sit down, and that person might become a big fan. So that's what we have to do, we have to play the long game. Not everyone is going to stick with you. And you shouldn't think it's a personal failure if you're the tutor, if you're the organizer of this starting session. No. It's not yours. No, like, you're going to, I would even say out of 20 people, only one person's ever going to be a big Mahjong fan. If you can do better than that, then good for you. Like,
you have to accept that you'll have some bounce rate. There's going to be some amount of people who come, they look at your thing, and they're like, yeah, I don't care about this. This isn't for me. That's fine. It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
You're not going to win them all.
It's super depressing. I'm not going to lie to you.
It's a little sad.
That's why I like doing the convention. And Troll actually is one of the convention stars as well. So, having those... What am I doing here? Yeah, so, like, doing those conventions, it feels a little bit more because you're in a team, right? And everyone's in the same boat, and you don't feel like you've not like gone and rented your church hall or whatever and had no one turn up, or like will turn up. It's so conventions are fun in that. But let's not do too many anime conventions, okay, kids? Let's try and branch out from the anime.
Conventions are super fun, and I will say, in my experience at conventions, overall, many more hits than misses.
I get nothing for second place.
You just hang out for second place? That's terrible. I get so many more hits than misses on people. So many more calls of interest. So many more people who are like, "This is cool. Can I do this more?" There's always a group of like 4 or 8 people who are just like.
Do I have time for one more game?
We are at time, actually. I don't think we do.
Okay, no, that's it. Okay.
But, yeah, there's so many more people who are like, this is interesting, this is cool, this is something I want to do, than people who are just like, meh, this isn't for me. I think it actually has been really heartening to see how many people like learning Mahjong and like playing Mahjong and have a good time with it. And that's a positive thing. Sorry, Yiffy, we are at time. I think the link was posted before, but I'm going to post the link again.
I will post my translation of the Kindai Mahjong. Don't share it to too many people.
The video here.
It is not, you should. I didn't share the right link. I'm sorry.
Bloop. I
should share the right link to the article.
It's part 1 and 2. This was recorded quite a few years ago. I could always record another one if people are curious. Recorded like 4 years ago now. But I could always record another one if people want me to redo it or do it again or touch it up.
Yeah, you did that a long time ago.
Record things.
Yeah.
But I do highly advise it. I think it really is about knowing your audience. 2017. It's been a while. I mean, we started.
It was before the WRC, right?
Oh, we had Gemma freezing. I think Gemma froze on me. Oh no.
Oh no.
Gemma's frozen. That means her opinions are frozen. You can do with more complex. What do you mean by more complex combos? Like teaching additional Yaku? Oh wait, is she back? Oh no, she poofed. Let me see if I can't recall her. Alright, welcome back. Let's see if she pops up fully with video now. Hopefully. There we go. Alright, cool. Welcome back.
He couldn't have collapsed like a few minutes later.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, no, you did that before WRC, remember?
Oh, going 1, 2, 2, and then 3. Sure, I'd be very, yeah, I did that before WRC. I'd be very happy to do that. We could go. It's too poof. It's
like the Wicked Witch of the West.
I don't have those forbidden words that exist in the UK. They don't have the same meaning here. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I might be able to take some time and refilm it. I'm not sure exactly when, but I could figure it out. Maybe script it a little better. You're a wizard. But it's been very effective here, Harry. And I think it really helps people get. Again, I feel like when you're teaching people a game, you want them to feel good. And Rudler's kind of right. There are lots of games out there that pride themselves on being fast and easy to learn, and Mahjong isn't the fastest or easiest game to learn. And that's okay, but you need to have a strategy to help people get over the hurdle. And I think, again, especially when you cater to Westerners who are not immediately familiar with the tiles and symbols, who feel like they can't read what they're looking at, who are prone to feeling a little confused and overwhelmed by a game that doesn't really fall into the types of games they're used to. You want to make sure you're kind of building their confidence as you go. And some people sit down at the table and be like, "Oh, I played Chinese Mahjong before. If you've played Chinese Mahjong before, great. We can skip past all that crap. We can go right to how you play Reach versus MCR, and we can just talk about that." Some people say, "I play a lot of card games and other board games. I'm really familiar. This all makes sense to me." Awesome. Let's jump past this stuff because you're good to go, and it's great. It's great. That only is a challenge. You have a mixed table, and then you got to go through it anyway, because not everyone at the table has that experience. But for people just starting out, I mean, what they see something they think might be cool, and they want to feel cool doing it. And that, I think, is what you really have to try to empathize with. How am I going to make these people feel cool, feel like they're learning a skill and getting good at this and having a good time? And, I mean, I've tried slavishly complimenting them, but it doesn't work. Just like, "You're very handsome and smart." Just say that over and over. But in reality, having a method that just lets them feel like they're working their way up, like they're mastering a thing, like they're coming to understand, and you can start to show them as they go forward how these things all link together. And again, some people just aren't going to be very good at it. Some people aren't really going to see it. They're not going to get it, and that's okay. And some people are going to be like, hey, I get that. That's why this is cool. And then they're the people who are going to come back during free play time and hang out at your tables for like 5 hours a day at a con where they have tons of other things they could be doing, but they found out they really like playing Mahjong.
Yeah, I mean, I got a set with it's made in the UK, but it's probably made in China. But it's from Hamleys that has the Arabic numerals in the corners. I think you have to use that. Like, it's not reasonable to expect people to not use it.
We usually use American mahjong sets that have numerals on them, just because that makes it trivial for people. And then also when we teach, the first suit we do is pin, because pin is very easy for people to read. It's just how many circles do you see? That's the number. And then we work in so, which only has the weird bird tile as particularly strange. And then hopefully, or what we've seen, is by the time we get to like, okay, here's a full hand with all 3 suits and man tiles are there, they see the number and like, okay, well, it's a 1. And like they're comfortable enough with the idea of like, okay, here's 1 through 9, just like the other suits, I get it. And they're not thinking, oh my god, what even is this? So it seems to work pretty okay. Again, always open to suggestions, but so far we've had good results, and hopefully we'll be able to get back to conventions in the next few years and do this more. 8-so can be a bit confusing, yeah.
I tried to hustle the club the one time I tried to make the long trip over there.
You can try to hustle the club.
Yeah. American tiles are too skinny. Some of them can be skinny. Yeah.
Some of them are very skinny. They're very well. They're designed to go in racks.
There's plenty of room in the mahjong space still for everyone to produce the content that they want to produce and make the events they want to make. Like, yeah, you know, I get confused sometimes when people in the community try to kind of, you know, they're like, oh, what they're doing over. She says that she's like bitching about mahjong solve all the time. Okay, do as I say, not as I do. You know, like. People are like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, you know, it should be done this way. But I'm like, we have plenty of room here for all of us to do as we, you know, all of it. Just not Mahjong Soul. No, if you're a Mahjong Soul player, it's lovely, it's great. Please don't spin the gacha, though. It's a waste of money. There's better things to spend your money on. Please, 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 not gacha, not gacha. Not gacha. Not gacha.
It's true, though.
You know what, if you want to just throw money into the abyss, I'm going to send you a little PayPal link, and you can just throw money at me into my abyss. My abyss with money is great.
Yeah, you make your own gacha.
Yeah, that's what we need, a gacha on our stream, Dave. We just need a gacha for people just to throw money at.
All right, no. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. Page
I'm sorry, they throw a little money at me. Okay, well, Chiral, if you're making money for MJS,
yeah,
then
you're making money. I mean,
yeah, you're doing it right then. You're doing it right.
All right, let me get going because otherwise I will surely die.
Yes.
I gotta eat lunch. But thank you all for joining us. We'll be back next week with
guys.
more Hakas, more fun times, and more mahjong. More Gem. Hopefully Gem will have a week where she gets over the hump, because I feel like so many good hands. It just.
Thanks, Dizzy. Thanks, Nevertas. Thanks, Rutalo. Thanks, Chiral.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Rogue Legion. I hope your Legion becomes less rogue.
Bye for now, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Garlic.
It's okay, Ruler. I as long as I get the nobility, as long as I can ride around on a horse and be noble, I'm good. But I gotta go. It's lunchtime. Lunchtime for this person of quality. I'll have a lunch of quality.
You'll have a Dave.
I'll have a Dave sandwich. Yeah. Bye, everyone.